I am going to start because, the title was retrospective, right? And given who I work for, I think I need to acknowledge, as everybody has, the amazing progress that Greece has made over the past decade. Because it has been very hard won, and it has involved real pain for so many Greek people. And I don't think we should ever just kind of sweep that under the carpet. And not just because, these are people's lives we're talking about, but also to make it a bit more forward-looking. There are lots of other countries today that are finding themselves in difficult positions, and Greece is the example they can look to. So we have this concept called fiscal space, where I work, and it's not really about how much more can you borrow, it's more how difficult is it for you to get your public finances back on track. Is the adjustment that we think you need simple or doable compared to what you've done in the past? And when I look at Italy, France, the UK today, I see no fiscal space. Because to bring debt down, we need a fiscal transformation that we've never seen them do before. But that was true here 10 years ago. And actually, Greece is a shining example to other countries of how to bring that about, difficult and painful as it is. And when I talk to banks and investors now, I don't think Greece has any investment problem or perception problem with investors at all. Certainly not in terms of the capital. And you can see that in the FDI numbers. You can see that in growth that's more investment-driven than consumption-driven. It's a great success story. But there are a couple of areas that I just wanted to highlight kind of going forwards to turn it into the forward-looking aspect. The first is clearly RRF has been a very big deal here. But RRF was always a bridge, not a destination. So the challenge going forwards is going to be how does Greece cope with, in all likelihood, a slightly slower pace of investment, and certainly FDI rates are probably a bit below that peak we saw in 2022. And I think the really important thing here is that the Greek government has bought itself time, and it has these primary surpluses, which are actually a little bit more than are required under the agreements with the European institutions. The one area I would call out, where maybe if you were going to try and spend some of that space, it probably isn't capital in a kind of economic investment sense at all. Because the reason we care about investment and capital is, we care about growth. And it's often kind of lumped into productivity. But actually, the really big factor of production I still think will matter is labor. So if I was a forward-looking economist, which I try to be right now, I think there's a lot more that the Greek government could do in terms of the labor force. Participation rates here are still about 5 percentage points below the EU average. Female participation in the workforce is still very low. There are issues around childcare, elder care. There are issues around taxation and social contributions, particularly for less formal work. And actually, given that the investment flows look healthy, given that the capital is coming, I don't subscribe to the idea that we don't need people because AI and Amica is going to do everything for us. Sorry, Amica. I think we're still going to need people. And having an active, engaged workforce that we are reskilling and training to meet those challenges, I think is incredibly important.